Now we are learning a new topic of social studies, that is post-war world and India. That means after the war, what is the condition of India? How it has been happened? What is the condition of the world? That we are going to learn now. Post-war means after the war. Which war? That is Second World War. So after the Second World War, which has started in the year of 1939 and ended in the year of 1945. So after this war, what was the condition of the world as well as the India? See, the impact of the World War is very huge and it has been created a great impact on the lives of the people across the world. Among them, here we have the countries of the European nation which have been experienced a huge loss of life as well as property. Economical as well as public as well as people life also, it has been created a huge loss. Say among them, most probably the countries like USSR, Poland, Yugoslavia has near about 20% of its population has been lost. Along with that, even in economic terms also it has been lost. So not only that, even in USSR we have been they have been experienced the loss of people, villages, towns, factories, mines and many more other activities also. There was a huge loss incurred to them, and in terms it is just calculated that near about 1700 towns, 31,000 factories and over near about 70,000 villages have been completely destructed in USSR because of the Second World War. Along with these, even many other countries also have been, what you can say, economically they have been drained and they have been lost a lot because of this war. Even the human life is also n number of people, more than some millions of people has been died because of this war across the world. Now the second thing is, here we have one more country, that is USA, who in terms of economically they have been not get that much of loss. Economically they didn't went into that loss, and even human life also, because the war was not occurred during in their own territories. And along with that, even they have been, in frankly speaking, they have been recovered from the economical depression of 1929 to 1913, and whatever the economical depression was there, from that they have been recovered because of this war, like providing war equipment and many more other. Their factories boom up and employment generated, and many more activities also has been happened because of that. They have been came out of the depression situation, economical depression situation. So in March 1945, the US President, Harry Truman said that we have emerged from this war. That means we have been emerged, developed from this war. The most powerful nation in the world. Because of this war, we have been emerged as the most powerful nation in the world. From then even till today also in the history, how they have been emerged as a powerful nation in the world. See, the first and foremost thing is, already we have been said that there was no huge or that heavy loss to USA because of people, or maybe of loss of people as well as the economically also. They have been not got that loss. How? Why they didn't got that much of huge loss? Because war has been not happened in their own territories or in their habitat. Yes or no? So war was out of that, and even these also not participated actively from the beginning. It has been entered at the almost at the conclusion of the war, when it has been entered and it has been stopped the war. Only the thing is that it has been used to heavy bombs which have been exploded on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like that, so it has been not get that much of huge loss also. Then secondary is, even the war was devastated countries rebuilt their economies. The world saw a new process came into existence. There are the most important process where the establishment of UNO. Everyone knows that what is UNO. UNO is nothing but United Nations Organization, which has been formed in the year of 1945. So this has been came up, and the coming up of this, and then the other three things also have been happened across the world. The first thing is, as I said, formation of UNO, first thing, and second thing is Cold War, and the third one is decolonization. These are the three important factors which have been happened or which have been occurred after the Second World War. One is formation of UNO, second is Cold War, and the third one is decolonization. So now we learn them in detail. Firstly, we learn something about UNO. What is this UNO? UNO is United Nations Organization, which has been formed in the year of 1945. It has 6 main organs. Along with that, even it has some other organs also, like UNICEF, UNESCO, UNDP, WHO, ILO, and International Court of Justice. Like this, it has different other branches and other organizations also. So mainly it has 6 other branches like General Assembly, okay, to till the Secretariat. Okay, it has total 6 branches. Okay, it has total in 6 branches, and it has been formed by the allied groups, mainly Britain, France, USA, USSR and China. And these people have been drafted the charter. Already have been said you people in the previous lesson, UN Charter. Okay, UN Charter is most important thing or a major factor in the successful of or in the successful establishment of the UN also we can say. So here UN Charter they have been drafted. The 5 major countries, what are they? Britain, France, USA, China and USSR. Presently we call it as Russia. These 5 major countries who have been framed this UN Charter and they have been formed UNO and drew to an end. The war has been completed. And moreover, what is the need of these things? Means the first and foremost thing is peace. Okay, even though the UNO has been established as a peace organization, apart from the maintaining peace in the world, even it deals with many other issues like education, health, social, equality, international justice. Along with that, even supporting the countries or helping the countries socially, economically, and even in security also, like what you can say, to suppress the war or to support the countries, and even to rebuild the nations. Like that, many activities UNO will be doing through its platform. It has different organs, as I said, UNICEF, UNESCO, UNDP. Okay, and even WHO, ILO, all these are part of these United Nations organization which work through the platform of the UNO. So like this, so at the beginning when it has been formed, it has only 51 countries as the member countries. Okay, presently we have 193 members in UNO. That is according to 2016. So this is the situation of world countries now. This UNO and well as the organization, and it has different branches at different level. Say for example, here we have one of the organization of United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization functioning from Paris, United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization functioning from Paris, and the other one is United Nations Children's Fund functioning from New York, as well as here we have International Court of Justice at Hague, and even UN headquarters in Paris again, once again. So like that we have different types of organizations in different places, and it is organizing different types of activities through this, helping people across the world, helping countries across the world for different types of activities to come up and to grow and develop and to become independent countries in the world. See here, in electing the Secretary General, the main role, the main officer of the United Nations, they will be having a rotating basis, members from different continents. First they will be giving opportunity to one continent, next is another continent, like that it will be in rotation basis. And as I said, the main or the basic branch of the United Nations is General Assembly, where all these 193 members are the members of these United Nations and General Assembly, and there they will be having regular day-to-day basis discussion. Day-to-day means not every day, and regularly they will be having their discussions over there on different types of mutual concern, mutual help, mutual cooperation and other things. And if it comes with the security or maintaining peace or other things, then we have another branch which is called as a powerful branch of United Nations, that is Security Council. Okay, they will take the care of, this branch will be taking care of providing security or maintaining peace and other things in the country as well as in the world. And here it has 5 permanent members and 10 temporary members. These 5 permanent members are these countries: Britain, France, USA, China and USSR. They are the permanent members of the Security Council, and 10 temporary members will be changed for every 2 years. So these 5 people in the Security Council, 5 permanent members of the Security Council, will be influencing United Nations organizations for doing different types of activities. They'll be forcing different types of things. And completely, in frankly speaking, UNO is completely under the control of these 5 members. Even though bounded by these 5 members, UN was successful in maintaining world peace, and sometimes it may be failure in avoiding wars between one or two countries like India, Pakistan or Indochina, or maybe like with Israel and along with Afghanistan, something like that. Some of the wars may not be possible to stop because of these permanent members, and moreover they are having one extra power, what we call as veto power. where they can support or may not support the resolution, or some of the point comes, or when a bill need to be passed, or when something need to be new act need to be passed, or some new decision need to be taken in the UNO. At that time they'll be using that, and they'll be supporting themselves, and they are still enjoying that privileges. And moreover, up to some extent, this is possible for UNO to avoid the wars. And next what we have is, generally, as I said about this one, veto power which will be utilized by these 5 permanent members and 10 members. And here International Court of Justice also, we have one of the organization, one of the branch of these United Nations, which deals with the disputes among different nations, and they'll be trying to solve the disputes with the negotiations as well as with the discussions, and other activities also will be done. Okay, so now we have been learned about the first point, that is establishment of UNO. Now we will be learning about the Cold War. Okay, what is this Cold War? The war which is happening during the winter season, that is the month of November, December, January, that we call as Cold War? No. Or the war which is fought in the places like Himalayas or somewhere in ice places, that we call as Cold War? No. The war which we do with the words, okay, inside the closed doors or inside the rooms, okay, with words, or maybe with by criticizing one another, or maybe by saying against one another, or by supporting one another, something, these type of things we call as a Cold War. So when the second world, after the completion of the Second World War, the world has divided into, now we are learning about Cold War, 2 groups, that is USA and USSR. Okay, between these two there was a Cold War. So here what these people started doing, they started doing getting support from the countries. See, for example, USA has been formed into one block, okay, along with its supporters. The next thing is USSR also has been formed one block along with its supporters. See, USSR has supporters like Poland, Eastern Europe, Poland, Hungary, and Eastern Germany also. Along with that, China and Vietnam also has towards the side of USSR. Whereas USA has Britain, France, Spain, who are very close to USA. So something like these people have been formed the group, and then they started forcing the newly independent nations in the continents of Asia and Africa to join them, because both the groups wanted to rule the world. Because of these things, so they started competing with each other. Like they started developing military. When USA has been started developing their own nuclear weapons and nuclear bombs, then along with that, even Russia also started doing the same thing. Here in your page number 279, they have been given a description about the nuclear weapons. See, the nuclear weapon which has been dropped by US, okay, on Hiroshima, it was near about 15 kilotons, and if because of this dropping of one bomb only, then that much of destruction has been created. Then once you think here, USSR has a nuclear explosive. The name of that nuclear explosive is Tsar Bomba. If this Tsar Bomba is near about, the weight of this is 50,000 kilotons. If this is dropped, then what will be the condition? Like that, even US also has some weapons. Likewise, even almost all the world countries have different types of weapons. If these breaks out, if a war breaks out, then definitely the destruction what is going to happen, we cannot even imagine. We can't even expect what type of war it will be, what type of loss it will be created. So like that, these are different types of situations have been happened, and different types of activities have been carried out. But at that particular time period, because of one or the other reasons, okay, the war has been not happened, but still they are always on their footsteps to have a war, or to be ready for having a war at any time with anyone. So directly or indirectly, there was a Cold War between these two countries, USA and USSR, after the Second World War. Next, what we have is proxy war. What is this proxy war means? See, as I said, the two countries have been fighting between by taking two different sides, and opposing one another, and taking different types of measures also. So when these things have been happened at that particular time period, here this person, who the president of USA, Mr. Harry Truman, he authorized a group and different types of campaigns against the anti-communist policies. Whereas USSR, along with its supporters, then they also wanted to have support from other countries. Then they also started having a campaigning against anti-capitalist movement. Something like that. That means these two groups are being started helping one or the other country, like in getting independence, or maybe to support the other country, like that. That means there is a war going on between these two, but these two countries, or these two major forces, never involved physically directly in the war. okay, through their agents, through their allies, through their supporters, they have been fought with each other. Say for example, if India and Pakistan are going to war, then immediately US will support one country as well as USSR will support one country. So here they both are also involved in the war, but not directly, indirectly. These two countries are involved. At that time, they'll support, huge support, every support, like maybe supply of weapons or economical aid or whatever is required to this particular they supporting country, they'll provide. So like that, a war, a type of war has been happened. Like that, they have been given different types of examples in your page number 279 as well. You people just go through that. Like many of the countries involved here, like Afghanistan, Czechoslovakia, Congo, then along with that even these Belgium, and like quite many many countries have been involved where these groups wanted to gain more and more support from the world countries and to establish group where they can fight with one another and to take supremacy over the world. They wanted to lead the world, they wanted to rule the world. Because of that, they did different types of actions. So now, as a part of that, even they have been formed some of the alliances also. All of you people know, I think, what is meant by alliance, because we have been learned the same word in our previous classes or previous topics also, that alliance means group. So military alliance. What is this military alliances? See, at that particular time period when they wanted to grow stronger and stronger, then both the countries started competing with each other. So that competition has been led to the formation of the groups, military groups, that is alliance. So here USA has been formed NATO. Okay, then by seeing this, Russia has been formed Warsaw Treaty. Okay, what is this NATO? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. North Atlantic Treaty Organization is called as NATO. So this NATO has been formed because to support its member countries, the people who are, the group who are supporting USA, the countries who are supporting USA, they all together, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That means the countries who are supporting USA, they have been formed one military organization. All together they have been formed one military, or a common military organization for the countries of the North America. So that is called as NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So through this organization, they will support their member countries, whoever are in problem or whoever needs security reasons or whoever need armed forces, something like that. At that particular time period, they all together collectively will fight with the enemies and then they'll protect themselves. Okay, that's the reason they have been formed. The same way even USSR also has been formed, what we call as Warsaw Treaty. Along with its member countries, it has been formed that, and this NATO has been formed in the year of 1949. Even these also simultaneously, same time, even these people also formed the same thing, like to support the communist group as well as the communist countries. Then at the same time, even USA also has been formed one more other organization like Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, which we call as SEATO, SEATO, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization. Okay, SEATO is also formed. Along with that, even Central Treaty Organization, CENTO, is also formed by the USA as well as even with the collaboration with the USSR. So like the different types of organizations have been formed, and these have been led to massive war which can create a huge destruction. They know that if they goes to the war, then the destruction what is going to happen will not be, even it is not possible to calculate also. That much of huge loss it will be incurred. And again, it need to take a some decades of time it will take to reconstruct the world again. So that also they know. So the alliances helped the superpowers which wanted to expand their influence and gain their support. At the same time, even they have been maintained some of the other principles also, other policies or the rules also they maintained, like the vital resources like oil and minerals, that also they have been shared. Then markets for their production and places to safely invest their capital, that also they have been searched. That means they helped with each other, like one country to the another country in their own groups. They helped for all these things like military bases to launch their troops and weapons. Along with that, even spread their ideology and gain economic support to pay huge military expenses, because they are maintaining a huge expenses military as a troop. So to maintain all these things also they have been made. Then arms and space race. See here, when both USA and USSR, when they both were in a Cold War at that particular time period, they have been spent a huge amount of money to conduct research into weapons and build arsenals. That means different huge weapons, very explosive, dangerous and destructive weapons they have been created. Devastating nuclear weapons, missiles and many more other things they have been created. Gradually their allies like Britain, China, even other countries, France also, they also started building nuclear arsenals. That means nuclear weapons. So when these things has been happened, along with that, when during that particular time period, USSR has been sent its first satellite, Sputnik, and the first human, Yuri Gagarin, in space. Okay, so by seeing this, immediately followed by the type of intensity or the intention, even US also has been sent Neil Armstrong and others to the moon in 1969. Okay, 1969, US sent Neil Armstrong to moon along with others. So like this also have been happened, and they have been created a type of discovery, as well as what you can say, in general we can call the intensity to win over one another. Okay, to dominate one another, to do something more than the other, something like that, to get more and more support from other countries in the world. They have been doing different types of activities which can get, through which they can get support from other countries in the world. Then flashpoints, that means there are some of the points which can resemble their rivalry or the Cold War. That is, the rival powers accumulated destructive weapons. That means they have been gathered destructive weapons. The first is destructive weapons. Okay, next, second thing is, after the destructive weapons, then what you can say, there have been gathering of groups, forming of the groups, that is allies, their supporters, and along with that, even at that particular time period when these destructive weapons and the group have been formed, at that particular time period, the entire world was in a fear. Always they are in a tense situation that when the war is going to break out, what will be the condition if the war breaks out? That type of situation always there used to be a tense situation. See, even during the time, how you people will be watching a cricket match between two countries, how it will be the tense situation. The same way, even entire world was in. When we are watching a match, it will be only for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the tense situation. But here, every day, all the time, till the Cold War is completed, and till the year of 1991 it continued, because in the year of 1991 USSR has been disintegrated. That means it has been break into different countries and formed many countries. From that time onwards, US has been emerged as a supreme power of the world economically, directly or indirectly. It is ruling the world. Okay, major part of the world. Okay, that is secondary. So the groups and allies forming of this at that particular time period, they are completely in a tense situation. The world was in a tense and terrific condition, and they were always worried when the war will be broken out, what will be the condition, like that. They are in tense situation. Okay, that also has been happened, and then moreover some diplomacy and some difference and confusion were also there among the people. That was also breaking out, and finally some of these were the incidents relating to the shooting down of U-2 spy plane over USSR. It has been sent a plane over there, spy plane over there, and discovery of the Soviet missile build-up in Cuba. When USSR has been, USSR has been did this, then USSR has been did this, and several times during the Korean and Middle East war. That means whenever there was a war across the world or with one country to another country at that particular time period, these two countries will be on their toes to be ready. Whenever they need support, the allies need support, immediately they will be supporting that, and immediately they will be giving the support to them, and then along with the support, even they are ready to participate even in direct war also, so that they can gain over the other opponent group, and then they can establish their own supremacy over the world. See here, when the world, there is no much difference between the ideology of Hitler or maybe ideology of some other person on the world. See, they also wanted to rule the world the same way. Even these groups are also wanted to rule the world. Because of that, there was a Cold War between these two. Because of this Cold War between these two countries, there are many other small countries or other elite countries also have been got lost in one or the other way with because of this Cold War between these two countries. All these things overall at the end it has been came to an end. There was a Cold War between these two countries from 1945 to 1991 till the disintegration of USSR disintegration. Okay, after the disintegration of the USSR, then the war has been, almost the Cold War has been stopped, because USA has been emerged as the supreme power of the world, and then directly or indirectly it is ruling the world, we can say to our words. So like this, there are different types of activities have been happened. The next topic what we will be learning is NAM. Okay, what is this NAM? Okay, that is nothing but non-alignment policy, non-alignment movement. Okay, this has been started by Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, the Prime Minister of India. Okay, already I have been said on our previous topic. Okay, non-alignment was the foreign policy of India. So when the world had been bipolarized, this Cold War was going on, India had good relations with both the countries. At that particular time period, then how to overcome this situation, how to face the situation, whom to support, either to the USA or to USSR. This was a confusion between these many of the nations, not only India, many of the nations. At that particular time period, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, he had been introduced his India's foreign policy as a non-alignment. That is not to support any group. We are not supporting any group. We are neutral. That means we are ready to come to the rescue whenever there is a danger for the peace in the world. Definitely, India will be the first country to serve them. We are ready to render our services. He mentioned and he said that we are not giving side to anyone. We want friendly relation with both the countries. And even he managed in the same way. But when Jawaharlal Nehru had been introduced this policy, India's foreign policy, NAM, at that particular time period, non-alignment as a foreign policy of India, both the superpowers have been misunderstood India. But when it has been participated very actively in the international activities to maintain world peace, again they both understood what actually the intention of India, and both again came to the help. At some of the point, even they stopped their aid and their support to India also, both the groups. But again, when they come to know actually what is the actual fact, then they again supported our country, and we went with a long-lasting relation with both the groups. Okay, even till today we maintain that. So why we are calling it as a movement means at that particular time period, Jawaharlal Nehru along with some others like Kenya, the president of Kenya, Mr. Kwame Nkrumah of Kenya, then Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt, then Sukarno of Indonesia, and Tito of Yugoslavia. He united all these people, and with discussion with all these people, then they made, all these countries also made NAM as their foreign policy, and they also wanted to be, because they also don't want to get distraction, and again they don't want to make one group as a stronger one and fight with another group and create a war. So everyone wanted to have peace and harmony across the world. So they also have been supported Jawaharlal Nehru, and majority of the countries, the newly independent countries in Asia and African continent, they adopted NAM as their foreign policy, and they also what you can say, gave their support to this one NAM, and some of the principles also have been arranged in that. The first summit was held at Belgrade in Yugoslavia in September 1961. It was attended by 25 member countries. NAM movement. Okay, the first thing that had been happened. So at that particular time period, that means different types of organizations, even Afro-Asian conference also has been held at Bandung in Indonesia, and near about 29 nations have been attended over there, Afro and Asian countries, and 20 member. By 2012, the membership has grown to 120 countries with 17 observers. These group, okay, the Afro-Asian Summit or Afro-Asian organization also have been formed, which we call as a third world countries, third world group. About these we'll learn detail in our further classes. There have been among some of the points of these organization. What does that mean? The first thing is cooperation among the members of the NAM. That means to cooperate with each other, newly independent countries, and to support newly independent countries. Second thing is the growing Cold War and its impact on the world as a large, that need to be stopped. Then to prevent any newly discolonized or independent countries from joining any of the military blocs. That means not to see that any of the country joining any of the group. Like that, it has been took some of the steps. Along with that time only, even Nehruji has been given its 5 principles, Panchsheel also, which have been involved in that, and that also became very popular. So like this, the support from Afro-Asian countries and other countries like other leaders like Sukarno, Tito, as well as Abdul Gamal Nasser, like that, all these people also supported Jawaharlal Nehru, and all these people collectively fought against the Cold War by taking this movement, non-alignment movement ahead. And at present today we have near about 120 countries and 7 observers. Even till today the movement of that organization is going ahead by maintaining world peace, and frankly speaking, till today we can say that today third world countries are the largest power or largest supporters what they have when compared to the first world or second world countries. Now we call all these as a third world countries, and moreover India is a leader of these third world countries, and they almost all these countries are developing in their stage, and hope so very soon they'll be emerging as a developed countries in the world, and to do many other developmental activities across the world to maintain world peace and friendly relation with across the world, and to have a global world. Okay, so now next we'll be learning about West Asian conflicts. What are the conflicts between the West Asian countries, as well as even other issues that we'll be seeing in our next class. If you have any doubts in this particular topic, just ask me in the comment section. Thank you.